Welcome to a very special edition of the final British Touring Car podcast. What are we called?
Final Corner Podcast.
That's it.
This
the
is
final
staying
podcast. I'm keeping it. I'm leaving it. I'm too tired.
Oh,
We've had a heavy week because it's a special podcast. We're recording on Thursday evening, quite late, but that's because we're recovering from a Sunday at Donington Park. All three of us were there, live and in person, watching the racing. Some of us with some very long journeys and circuitous routes to get there, and Tom half an hour down the road. So, yeah, we're slightly late this week.
fantastic.
But for
We should do
good
Donington
reason.
more often.
We should. But good reason we're a bit late this week because we were there. Nick, Tom, enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, mega to have the Final Corner Podcast in person. Talk rubbish about touring cars in the rain and the sun.
Yeah, and the wind.
And the wind. Yeah. Break an umbrella at the start of the day, covered in rain, and then get sunburnt. Typical Donington weather.
Mm-hmm.
Nick definitely had it right with a massive bra in the morning and then suddenly whipped his kegs off. He didn't go that far. He whipped his trousers off with a pair of shorts underneath, but that man is well planned for the day.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah. Didn't see the sunshine coming. Oh, well. No, but it was fantastic, wasn't it? And what do you both think of Donington as a spectator venue?
I really liked it, actually, because you can see a lot of the track from certain places. Especially where we watched the first race, you can see pretty much half the track.
Mm.
So
Yeah, we watched it on the
great.
outside of Redgate, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only thing you can't really see is Coppice, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say that's the disappointing part because there was quite a few moves there. And
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be at the Grand Prix section at one point, but there's no big screens there. So that would be the only downside at that point, as that's the only bit you would see. But otherwise,
You're down at the Mareball hairpin.
yeah, but otherwise, even standing in the infield, you see a huge part of like the old hairpin and up the hill. Plus, you've got two big screens there, so it's really good. I'm as a not kill diehard, having been twice. That makes me die hard. Yeah, I was quite impressed with Donington.
I mean, there's nowhere like Knockhill, but Donington's excellent. And that's a good point, actually, because it's the first time since, was it 2002, that the longer loop was used for BTCC, and a little screen down there would be welcome, but I don't have the purse strings, so beggars can't be choosers.
Mm-hmm.
No. What did you think of the catering options? The most important part.
Oh.
You had the
Yeah.
burger van, the burger van, the burger van, or we saw far away in the distance a fried chicken van.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, where was that? I can't remember where that
It
was.
was in the infield.
Oh, in the infield somewhere.
There was another one as well on top of the hill on the infield. That was just
Where the camping was.
loaded fries and various things. But
Mm.
that was up a hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you don't go there for the food. Let's put it that way.
No.
Because of what, like the majority of the food stands, as you alluded to there, Colin, are the same company with the same menu.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit more variety won't go amiss. But hey, I don't know what the economics are behind that. You know, there might only be BTCC and World Superbikes and British Superbikes and British GT that brings in enough crowd to sustain the food. I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely other venues with more choice, let's put it that way.
Yeah, the contrast between Silverstone and then Donington between the Formula One and that was stark. But I must say the hot dog.
But I imagine the price was as well.
Oh yeah, well, 14 quid for a hot dog and chips. I guess it's not like it was the cheapest. But we started off in the morning. I got there at 8:30. Left the house at 2:30. Got the track at 8:30 with
Fair play.
the rain just pouring down, and it really didn't really stop till 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Sort of mid the first race, it started to ease off, didn't it?
Well, the day started off with push for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little race. The leader went off in the penalty lap.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry. When we called you in the traffic jam to get in, we could hear the Porsches behind you. We knew
Yes.
exactly what
Yeah,
sport it was.
very distinctive.
Yeah, I was impressed by that. I think I was lucky. I think I was early enough to avoid it. Plus, I came from the direction where I was on the left-hand side of the road, making a left turn. So it's the old knock hill trick. There's one way to go and there's one way not to go.
Yeah, we were in the not to go, but we kind of
Yeah.
knew it because Google said you could try this other route, and I just didn't want to risk it
Hmm.
in case we came to like road shut for the event,
Yeah, exactly.
which I've done before at music festivals. Oh, this would be brilliant. Just go down. Oh no, rejoin the back of the queue.
Yeah, if in doubt, just join the big queue. You know it's going the right way.
Yeah, but I think we'll bear that in mind for next time I visit a track. Slightly longer route on the way there to be on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the highlight of the day was purchasing my mug.
I was going to ask where it was.
I used it for the first time today. This is BTCC Blueprints, which have merchandise online, but also they have a stand. I don't know about every round, but certainly they were there the one we were at Donington, and they had lots of lovely stickers, which we bought. And a Will Powell mug was reduced to £4, so I was in. Collector's item.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I'm drinking from this evening. Yeah.
Yes, my Mikey Doble sticker is now on top of my Fanatec wheel.
Oh, very nice. I've not used mine yet.
Yes,
Wait, you got a
Dobley
few?
Watch was in. You've got several. So yeah, Dobley Watch was in person this week.
It was.
We didn't get to meet the man because the queue
No.
for the autograph session was about the length of the track. Essentially.
Yeah. It was like
Oh, wasn't that insane?
3-hour queue for a half-hour slot.
Yeah.
Which, obviously we didn't plan it right and we arrived there too late to then see the queue. But I think it's amazing that there is such a big queue to meet the drivers, and other sports could learn from that.
It was mentioned on the coverage as well that it was a very long queue, so I think it is a bit abnormal.
Right. Yeah, it was looping around the paddock area, wasn't it?
Yeah. The end was basically the start as well.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. So I don't know if the people at the end ever got to meet their heroes, but we certainly didn't.
No.
I was quite impressed at how big a crowd it was the weekend.
Yeah.
It shows you that the series is very popular. I've been speaking to people about it this week, and they have known people that have went down and camped the full weekend and everything. So it's clearly popular. Plus, it's the second time at Donington this year, and it's still drawing a big crowd.
Yeah.
That's the key point. Because despite the rain and the fact that it already had around there, it seemed relatively popular, didn't it? It's always difficult with a motorsport, though, because you can be spread, apart from copies, obviously, pretty much everywhere around the track, inside and outside. So you don't get like a stadium where you're all crammed into around a small pitch. But it's still, nevertheless, there's a decent amount of people there, I thought. Judged on how long it takes to get out of the car park, yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But it took me probably about half an hour-ish. But I was in one queue to get out of field, and then other people decide to start making a separate queue. And that just enrages me. Because I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. But some people were kind and let you out pretty quick, which was nice.
It's warfare leaving a festival or
Yeah.
a sports gig on a field. You've got to go for it, Colin. You've got to be the aggressor.
Yeah. Well, my Civic got me out there, don't you worry. But there was a very nice woman in our bar that let me out. So
Oh, nice.
that was very nice of her.
Thank you to her.
In terms of the overall weekend, start talking about what happened on track. It was relatively calm, I thought, for a British touring car weekend. There was no big shunts I can think of over the weekend. A few minor incidents.
Not in the main category.
No, there was a few minis on the roof and things like that, and some of the supports. So overall, thought they were all pretty well behaved.
Yeah, the British touring car races were quite subdued, but still good. Still had flashpoints and moments of controversy. The driver standards are, at the minute, very polished. Is that a good thing or not? I don't know. Probably is, but probably for the better. But yeah, some of the sports, definitely we saw a mini challenge trophy clip the tyres and flip at the Fogarty S's, or just the S's?
I think it is actually the Fogarty S's. It's just everyone tends to call them just the S's.
S's. And then we saw Ollie Jackson, former BTCC driver, smash into the same tyres and end his very expensive Porsche in the wall.
Yes, unfortunately, right where we had been standing about 20 minutes previous.
Yeah, we missed all the action, but as long as everyone's safe, it's all good. And this led, I don't know if you saw, to a big debate. I think Tim Harvey, especially Paul O'Neill, were on TV saying they need to get rid of the tyre bundles. And Tiffany Dell was chiming in on Twitter, and Paul O'Neill told him to bore off. I don't think Tiff was necessarily in favour of the tyre bundles. His point was, you can say that all you want, but have you got an answer to what could be there instead? To which they don't at the minute. Or seemingly haven't said so on the coverage. So that's kind of the point he was making.
Yeah.
A bit of controversy there, outside of the racing, amongst the media personalities.
I have to say, I do agree that the tyre stacks are unnecessary, but also, what would you replace them with?
Yeah, what would you do? Yep, not sure.
You could have the old flappy pedal board things they used to have at Croft that just disappear after one lap.
They don't work either, really.
No.
The S's used to be, and you made this a good point actually earlier in the weekend. So the BTCC YouTube channel put on the 2002 round highlights, which are incredible to watch back. I heartily recommend them because the driving standards are abysmal.
Yes.
But it's entertaining. And it's a season finale, I suppose, so gloves are off. But that chicane wasn't this big fast-flowing thing that needs a tyre bundle then. It was much sharper, 90-degree left, 90-degree right, which has less flow. It might be less satisfying to drive, but you wouldn't need a tyre stack.
No, it did have tyres stuck in the ground because that's what almost flips Tarquini.
Yeah, but that could be like some sort of just serrated curb or something.
Yes, but that was just purely because they're going slow enough that it didn't really affect things.
Yeah. So, well, that's a huge expensive thing. So I don't know how you would reprofile the circuit, but so that's not an easy fix. But that solves the issue.
It was reprofiled originally for the failed F1 bid that they had in the early 2008, 2010s. That's why it was reprofiled, but then obviously that all went downhill after that.
Mm-hmm.
Simply sausages back then.
It was. Was that in Top Gear?
It was, yeah.
Oh man, and they used it for one of the best car reviews ever, where it was the Skoda Yeti, and they drove around it as a building site.
Yes,
Ferrari, and he was it. Oh, who was in the glove box?
I don't know. The only thing I can remember was Ross Kemp in the boot, but that was a totally different thing.
Oh, that was a Renault Twingo, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, who was in the glove box?
For some reason, I do think it is Tief Nadell, but I don't know why. Who's Tief?
No. It's Sienna. It was Sienna Miller. It was like, and the great thing about this is the Sienna Miller's in the glove box, and just opens the glove box, and she's in there, and that's it. Ha! Brilliant. Move on to the next bit. Right. Anyway, I digress.
Races. Well, we're going to races.
Yeah, the only thing to cover is that Camish wasn't in any of them.
No, poor Dan. He was fastest, I think, at one point in practice, then chucked it off at the top of the hill at McLean's, I think, and wrecked the rear end of his car.
Yes.
Yep. Complete brake failure. Not complete brake failure. Was it just the front rear ones working?
I'm not sure. He just said the pedal went completely solid and he had no brakes.
Yeah. At the start of the ITV coverage for the main day, they said, I think it was just the rear brakes that were working, which is only like 30 to 40% of the braking power.
Yeah.
Smaller brakes at the rear.
Plus it's on a turn as well, so that would explain why it instantly pitches it round.
Exactly, that's why it spun. So, big impact rearwards. Shows the speed that they're going because it just skated across the top of the gravel and ended up like nose down, like resting on top of the barrier, tyre wall. Yeah, well, anyway, the main thing is he's okay, but Donington, not very lucky for Dan Camish.
No, McLean's in particular.
Yeah.
Car got a bit burny last year, didn't it?
It did.
Poor lad.
Got burnt last year. Got a couple of feet shorter this year.
Yeah. I think he's going to be terrified coming back next season.
Yeah.
But I just hope they can fix that car. and have the budget to do it. I'm assuming they do, but that's a hell of a lot of damage.
He did say that he will be out of Silverstone, whether in that car or another one.
Fine.
Oh, right.
So I'm
Bring
assuming
back
there's a
Dave
backup
Pinkney's Alpha 156.
Yes. Rob Austin's car must be sitting around somewhere.
Yes!
Yeah,
We were talking about that, weren't we?
I'm curious.
Bring back the
about that
Giulietta. I think, from memory, it was sold as a rolling chassis for like a display or something.
one.
But I
Right.
could be wrong now. Going to reverse out that.
Team Hard probably owned bits of it.
The touring car register might enlighten me that. So you talk about qualifying and while I'll have a look.
Well, Team Hard were missing a car this week.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Hamilton's car, or now Rob Huff's car, wasn't there. They had, I think, permission to skip this round, but Rob Huff will be back for the final 2 rounds of the season.
Yeah, it's not been officially confirmed, but it's been said in several places that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So we assume that's what's going to go.
Qualifying was a big shock because Ash Sutton took pole,
Yeah.
and that's not happened, has it?
No.
Oh,
It's very
incredible.
unusual to see a napper on pole.
Oh, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So he took pole from Ingram, Collard to Taylor Smith, Hill, which looked like a fairly tasty top 6, and then you've also got Cook behind. Ronan Pearson did well to get to 9th. The nearest Ford Focus to Ash Sutton was in 10th with Rowbottom. Andrew Watson continued some decent form in 12th. And Sam Osborne finished out the points, scoring positions. Starting in 15th. Our man, the man of the moment, who we saw pull off some epic moves at the weekend, did not too shabby in qualifying.
Yeah, 16th place. He also said he had issues during qualifying, so he was hoping he would have been higher.
Well, it was quite above the pace of his teammates when you actually look at it. Watson is ahead by a 10th, and then Aaron Taylor Smith, whose return to form's been rather spectacular. If some dodgy moments at the past few weekends, it was quick this weekend and relatively clean. He was half a second quicker than Doble.
Yeah, he's looked like the Taylor Smith of old in the last sort of 4 weekends or so, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Quick but unpredictable.
Yeah. And then at the back, we've got 4 Coopers in a row from 21st to 24th. Creasy put his in 19th. Dan Lloyd 17th. And then Nick Halstead was at the back having no time set. Jake Hill also takes a free place good penalty from his, I think it was his collision with Jelly, I believe, at Knockhill.
Yeah. Yeah, so he ended up starting 9th after qualifying 6th. Whereas Halstead, I don't know what happened to him. He turned left on the first part of the S's and just carried on turning left. Just didn't attempt to go right. He lost it on the way in and caused a red
Maybe
flag.
cold rear tyres.
Oh, yeah.
But when he the car's in the gravel and he's at the side of the track, he's taking his helmet off and stuff, and then they come to dig him out, and he goes back to car, drive it back, and then forgot his helmet. Harvey was having a go about that in jest. Had to go back and trudge through the gravel to get it again. Still, I don't want to jump ahead to the races, but we felt trackside he's definitely closer to the pace than he has been in the past, and closer than other drivers. He's closer to the pack than other drivers have been in BTCC history. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
He's not he's not been lapped in the race, which some were, and he's not on his own either. He's definitely, there's a battle pack of a few cars with him.
He was on the pace of the majority of the Cupras, especially in the first race.
Yep. I think he went wide in one of the races, didn't he? Was it the first one, maybe?
Yes.
Towards the end? Yeah.
We were bigging up the Coopers at the start of the year.
Yeah, well, I got that wrong.
It just seemed to have got worse and worse as the years went on.
Well, to be fair, they've only really got the one settled driver in the team, really, in Lloyd. Because Patterson was a rookie last year. De Leon's coming halfway through. Butel, I'm trying to think of a polite way, but he's just not on the pace. So I'm not really sure where that car actually sits.
Certainly Thompson and Lloyd can drag something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a shame that Thompson's not around at the minute.
Yeah, that one still confuses me.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
It's all money, even if they say it's not.
Yeah. Everything in touring cars is money.
Of course.
Money and beating the traffic, as we noticed, because all the stalls started packing up before race 3 even started.
Yeah, so all the stalls are shut down before that is kind of weird.
Yes.
Beating the traffic.
I get it. Everyone wants to beat the traffic, and I can't understand the hard work that goes into. Sorry, I can understand the hard work that goes into making a stand, being there extra early, spending your weekends for it. But I don't know. I might have bought something after the third race.
Yeah.
Because don't you have everyone going past your stand at that point? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
You would think so, but yeah.
What confused me was the amount of fans even prior to race 3. Like, you've sat there for 6 hours. This is the race where people normally end up upside down. Like, if you're going to stay for one, this is yes, this is the one you would normally want to stay for. But again, traffic, kids, school, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life is tricky.
Yeah, exactly.
But if there was an ice cream stall next to the race 3 podium, I would have bought one. Someone lost a sale there.
Yeah.
Could have done with the Magnum.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, before race 1, I want to breaking news for 2020.
2020.
The Alfa Romeo, yeah, the Alfa Romeo Giulietta is in storage to an unknown owner. It was sold for £95,000 from racecarsdirect.com, to which the description said it cost over £200,000 to develop and only did 10 race weekends and does come with an engine. So someone's got it somewhere.
How much money can we pull?
Well, I spent my £4 on a little power mug.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have got the chips with that hot dog.
Did you know, though, they competed the 2018 season in the Alfa Romeo, but they also did the 2019 tyre test midway through the year?
Yes, because they were planning to come back the following year.
Yes.
But that didn't happen.
Oh, well.
Can I talk about race 1 now?
Yes.
Go on, then.
Oh, my word, we're cracking on with time.
Well, race 1 we watched on the exit of turn 1.
Redgate
into Hollywood, which has got a nice big screen across from it. The start was relatively clean at the front. Ingram took the lead from Sutton. Sam Osborne seemed to get shoved off at the start-finish line by
Looked
Rory
like
Butcher.
a Toyota.
It was Butcher.
Yep, and he takes out an advertising hoarding. He seems to continue on fine, but then Jade Edwards has got a bit of hoarding in front of her car and she has to pit. Which I couldn't see where she picked that up from.
Unless it was the same advertising hoarding, fell off his car and got stuck to hers.
That'd be horrific luck.
Yeah, that would.
Collard also got past Sutton at the start, but I think Sutton got it pretty easily at the old hairpin, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Going up the hill. And you've got down here that there's a special award for Ann Taylor Smith, who made an overtake at the Melbourne hairpin. The first one since 2002.
In a touring car race, yes.
So at Knockhill, there was a John Callender Walford pole and a David Leslie for fastest lap in race 1. What's the Donington one? The James Thompson gin and tonic? Yeah, we should probably move on.
Dan Lloyd gets a 5-second penalty because he doesn't have enough bad luck in his life. False start this time for this one. Sutton quite quickly retakes the lead from Ingram. You could see at the start of lap 2, like going through the first corner, Ingram's car's all over the place and he's wrestling it to keep it straight, and Sutton's car is just taking the corner completely flat. Absolutely no drama. He seems to just be able to point, press the throttle, and the car sticks. So he eventually overtakes Ingram, puts a big dive. I don't know if Ingram was expecting it, but puts a big dive into the penultimate hairpin, Melbourne, and then secures it going into the final corner, which was the end of the race at the front, essentially. Sutton was dominant at that point, but I thought that was a strange one for Ingram to get caught napping.
Yeah,
it
was a good dive, but yeah, he definitely left the gap there, wasn't he?
Ingram said after the race that he's up against what will go down in history as the greatest front-wheel drive touring car of all time. Or one of. I can't remember if he said it outright.
I think he did say the greatest.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with him, really. It's,
no.
just when you watch it trackside, it just seems in a different class at times. And obviously it needs Ash Sutton to be the best, one of the best drivers, probably the best driver on the grid to make the most of it as well. Because, let's be real, Sam Osborne's not winning a race, is he?
No.
I think we've said that before. But it just seems that combination is the perfect pairing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, but at the same time, it seems whatever Sutton drives, it's something to do with the way he sets cars up, or his engineer sets them up. It's always just looks so drivable, whatever he's driving.
Yeah, he handed it to his teammates in the Subaru and the Infiniti.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it 2018 when he won a race in the old MG at Croft in the rain? That was
Yes.
that was a warning shot.
Yeah. Yeah, with Josh Cook as his teammate and as an established driver at that point as well.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of impressed, if you watch the overtake on Ingram and they get up to the final corner, Ingram squares off the hairpin.
Yeah.
So he can floor the throttle and get a better run. And Sutton just drives away from him. Like Sutton's had the worst line, should have the worst traction, and he doesn't. He just floors it and the car sticks.
Yeah, it's not even that he covers the line, is it, to stop him getting good acceleration. He just has better acceleration himself.
Yeah. And there's nothing in this race anyway that Ingram can do in the wet.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we pick up on something early in the year where, yes, it was coming out of the Croft hairpin and the Fords, Camish and Sutton, they seem to be pulling away from the BMW coming out of corner exit, and you think that shouldn't be possible in front-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
There's something trick going on with the diff or something funky, which fair play.
The old sniff test is suspicious.
Well, it could also be a combination of the drivers have got the driving style, so they bleed on the throttle just perfectly to get the minimum amount of wheel spin. So I don't want to take all the credit away from the drivers there.
No, what Sutton can do in that car is incredible.
It's amazing to watch it. When you watch it live, you kind of want to go, oh, well, I want a more of a firecracker of a race, but you can't help but admire how pinpoint accurate he is in every single apex.
Yes.
I'd still wanted him to get punted off at race 1 to make it weekend a bit more exciting, but that's just me being selfish.
I know what you mean, though. Some like championship drama would be nice. Not taking anything away from Ash, but
yeah, we're not going to get that this year in either series that we cover on this podcast. Sadly.
Nope.
Jake Hill was making a good fist of it though. Coming back through the field, he started in 9th. But he's pulling some good aggressive moves. He's got great pace in the BMW. Gets past Ronan Pearson down at Craner's Curves. And Rory Butcher also follows him through, who was having a pretty decent weekend at this point as well. And Hill gets past Rowbottom pretty. I thought he fought it, but it was relatively easy for Hill. He just seemed to have much better pace than anyone else apart from Sutton. And it would have been interesting if Hill had started this race next to Sutton.
Yeah, I thought that.
How close it would end up being.
Yeah, he was just closing down on everyone. Whoever was in front of him, it was just like, right, let's get him next lap. Let's get him next lap.
Yeah. Well,
it was imperious, wasn't it, really? Because I think, you could say, we will drive in the drying-ish conditions, a better tyre wear, but Jelly, Morgan and Turkinson didn't do this.
No.
No.
And Turkinson's no mug, and Hill just drove around him.
Yeah.
Made him cover into McLean's, got the overrun on exit to Coppice, job done. And then the commentators at one point go, well, he might catch Ingram by the end of it. Oh, hang on a minute, before this lap's finished, he's on him.
He's already there.
Yeah.
And I think we said something similar, trackside.
Mm.
Like, he could actually do something here. When he got to a point, obviously, we didn't think that at the start. I think Rowbottom made contact with him at the Melbourne hairpin just off camera, which meant he fell down from about 8th to 11th in like the second lap.
Yes.
So he could have won that, actually. I think we said, if he'd have qualified better, he could have won it. But actually, that's true. But if he hadn't have had a bit of contact in the second lap, he could have still won that, I reckon.
Mm.
Mind you never know how much Sutton's saving.
Yeah.
It impressed me. He rocked up behind Cook on the back straight, and Cook just pulled over. It was like, on you go.
Yeah.
It's like, there's absolutely no point in me fighting this.
So with that one, I think Cook's letting him through so as he can follow him and maybe find his way through. But by the next corner, he'd already gone. There was no chance of following him.
Exactly. We then saw a bunch of other moves. Hill just keeps picking people off, and we saw a big move from our man Double going down against Dexter Patterson at Queen of Curves. That was all three of us were impressed by that when we saw it.
Yeah, and he had a couple around that area of the track, didn't he, that weren't shown on TV, but he got past quite a few people on the way out of Redgate.
It seemed like I was very surprised when we were watching it in person. We were following him because of our allegiance, and he was making some great moves. And he obviously must have dropped back at the start. We're not sure.
Yeah,
but then he was making progress every lap seemingly, and surprisingly, one of them is on TV, even though he was far down at that point. So it was good that some of his moves got recognition there.
Yeah, I don't know why he dropped down. It was somewhere on the first or second lap. You could see it on the timing screen, but no clue as to what happened.
Yeah, if you're not spectating at that corner and it's not on the TV footage, then we're at a loss. But anyway, of course, I know we're talking about race one, but we're nearly wrapping with that, I guess. Joking at the end of the last BTCC podcast, Colin, you said, "Oh well, the Jack Sears Trophy, that's our main thing that we're focusing on now." Is a bit of a joke, but the ITV coverage is really, really covering it hard.
That's true. At the beginning of the day.
At the beginning of the day, there was a feature on it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Then in the commentary, when they cut to Doble making a move, it's like, oh, that's for Jack Sears points. And then later on in the second race, it's like, oh, okay, right. You've got the memo as well.
Yeah, it's the only
we need a championship fight. Yes. We need it.
I wonder if they can still spin. There's 6 drivers in this championship fight for the Jack Sears for them.
For Jack Sears, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The overall one now.
We've got that. I was going to say we've got the wing foot, but we don't have the wing foot either. The wing foot's gone as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Independence, maybe?
I don't even know what that is anymore.
It's everybody not in a Ford, Toyota, or BMW.
Oh, who's in that this year?
It just doesn't follow as much weight as it used to, I think. Because you used to have proper manufacturers' teams, and now it's kind of like they're all independent teams. They just have, some of them have a bit more backing from the manufacturers.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's 15 drivers and independents. Josh Cook is 92 points ahead.
He won it last year as well, so job's a good one.
Trophy. Hey.
Yeah.
The end of the race, I was going to say Hill finished third. Got all the way up to third. But there's some drama. He puts a move on Tom Ingram. Tries to go around the outside of the final corner. Ingram floors it. Uses pretty much the full width of the track. Hill dips a rear wheel onto the grass. Loses traction. And Ingram keeps the position over the line. Everyone thinks that's fine. Cracks on with their day. We didn't realise until they were taking the grid for race 2 that suddenly, why is Hill in second? And Hill is in second because the stewards or the BRC or whoever does it decided that Ingram gained an unfair advantage by not leaving a car's width at the edge of the track. So the positions were flipped.
Yes, the clerk of the course made the initial decision, which the stewards upheld under appeal. But either way, it was stupid.
It's rare to have an appeal, though, on the race weekend, isn't it, in BTCC?
It is, yeah.
And as Paul O'Neill said, well, they're probably not going to change it because the grid's being formed now.
Yeah.
Because I suppose there is a time constraint in the BTCC weekend. But I'll read out from the BARC website the reasoning for the upheld decision.
Yeah.
The BTCC Expected Standards Document 2023 overtaking point 3. So there's an expected standards document for this year. I mean, there might be for other years, but they're referencing this year's. Is clear that, and then it quotes it, on the exit of a corner, if the car on the outside has an overlap on the car on the inside, then the car on the inside must leave a minimum of 1 car width to the edge of the track. So it's nothing to do with who's ahead. If you interpret, in my opinion, that wording strictly, any car on the outside can just overtake on the outside now?
Why did Jake Hill get a penalty at race one then?
Wasn't that that's to do with overlap? And not on an outside of a corner. That was in a straight line, wasn't it?
Yes.
Sutton didn't leave a car with.
Ah.
But it wasn't on the exit of a corner.
It wasn't on the exit of a corner.
Oh, right. Oh, it's fine then. Oh, sorry.
You know, I agree with you, but I can
Yes.
see the wording. It's like,
jeez.
this whole thing is, that's the rule. I accept there is a penalty. But the rule is wrong, is what I would say.
Not fit for purpose.
Yes.
Or, as Tim Harvey said, stupid.
Yes, I know, just completely.
He said, the rules are written by people who do not know how racing cars work. And then David Addison went, well, the stewards did something. And he went, and the stewards don't understand
Yes, I know.
racing cars work.
Often they did that because they had the graphics up to run through the grid, and when they were playing the
Yes.
background music and everything, it's just like Tim Harvey wasn't letting it go. The boy on the look button for the music just couldn't let it go. It's like, Tim, come on.
Yeah, it was amazing. I thought that the grid would start moving, but there's clearly someone doing it live.
Yeah.
So it just stayed there, didn't it?
Yeah.
But to me, this is mad because it's like Ingram moves in wide. I'm not going to deny that he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't biff him out of the way.
He didn't.
And he's ahead and he's on the inside. In my opinion, he has the right of way.
Yes.
And what about Jake Hill clearly then deliberately hitting him back in retaliation? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
After the squiggle, to me, it looks like he biffs the side of him.
Yeah.
To rob Ingram of momentum. I mean, I'm it's different time, different era, different rules, but was it 2010 at Croft with Rob Collard and Shedden? And they came out the hairpin, they're both bashing into each other and on the grass.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the closest finishes of all time. And it is amazing. It's great to watch. And they've sorted it out themselves in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person finished second, or was it? I think it was second at the time. Deserved it. It might have been for the win. That also reminds me of 96 at Brands Hatch with Paul Radicic in the Ford Mondeos on the outside of what's turn 2 at Brands Hatch? Oh my word,
Druids.
And Roberto Ravalia is in a BMW on the inside. Roberto just sort of turns left and forces Radicic off into the gravel and into the wall into retirement. Now, to me, that is not acceptable.
Yes.
Correct.
And this is maybe what this rule was aiming to stop, perhaps. I'm not sure. But this is just like, it's not even like a shoulder barge, is it? It's just
No.
like...
That's what I don't get. Like, I can clearly see that rule and I agree with that rule if someone forces you off or just
Yes.
completely drives to the white line. You watch it
But
back. Hill doesn't drive to the white line. He does leave a gap. There's a curb there. Like, what more do you expect him to do? He's
To
got
me,
to defend his position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, it's up to Hill to back off at that point. He has got a choice because he's behind. So just don't go around. The halfway around the corner, he could choose not to go around the outside. However,
Yes.
if this rule exists and will be enforced, then from now on, everybody needs to overtake around the outside because they've actually got priority, judging by this.
Yeah, as Harvey said, it's now Ingram should have let off the throttle and let him past. If that's what this rule is to be interpreted as.
Yeah, you just have to roll over and concede now.
Mm.
Because it's not... On the exit of a corner, if the car on the outside has an overlap, it's not is ahead.
Yeah, which Hill never was at that point. He was alongside and was almost dead alongside, but he was not in front at any point.
My opinion maybe should be, if the car on the outside is ahead at any point or something like this. I don't know. It's a strange one because here I was calling out the commentary of not having an idea or a solution, I hate that word, for tyre bundles. I haven't really thought about what you could do instead. But this hasn't been an issue before and it worked, right?
Well, I mean, as Colin said, I kind of agree with the rule in principle, but there needs to be some leeway with the stewards or the clerk of the course to say, no, that was fine.
Yeah, you've got to judge each incident, and
Mm-hmm.
if he had hit him or forced him so far that, like over half the car was over the curb.
Yeah.
And it's significantly wide, fair enough. But it was like one tyre dipped into the grass.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, to me, no, this is a no-no.
But I don't think there was even contact to force him wide, really.
No.
If there was, it's minimal. So maybe there needs to be an element of judicial subjectivity. Well, I know rules are supposed to be objective, but you have a clause in that sentence which adds, don't push them off with significant contact or something like that. And then I suppose that's bad because someone might say, yeah, but what's significant? But there has to be a contact clause in that sentence for me.
Mm-hmm. And it was still only a 10th over the line. It's not like he pushed him off. And,
right. He didn't retire.
No.
He could have looped it on the grass, but didn't. Very, very, very strange calls, some of them this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the main flashpoint of the year, of the weekend, and we're not really talking about Sutton dominating the race or someone Aaron Taylor-Smith having a great weekend. My main memory, or even Dan Lloyd spinning off with the drive shaft. Maybe that's actually saved their blushes a bit because everyone's talking about that.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be talking about this in touring cars, really.
There has been several, going back to that lap one, race one.
Mm-hmm.
There's been several bizarre decisions this year. There's been some bizarre safety car decisions, some bizarre stewarding decisions.
And some bizarre track limit rules.
Yes.
Oh, do those exist anymore?
I think they technically do, but they're just...
They definitely do for qualifying.
Yeah.
But in the race, it seems to be thrown out of the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, we have a completely embarrassing weekend where everyone is getting penalties left, right, and centre. And then 2 weeks later, it's forgotten. I don't remember hearing once about track limits during the race.
No, I think in a couple of the other races, there was a black and white flag for a couple of cars. That's it.
I don't know where they were monitored in this race, and it might have been mentioned somewhere, so apologies for the ignorance. We should look this up. But there was quite a few cars running wide at Old Hairpin repeatedly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
From a spectator viewpoint. And remember, it is judge of fact by the eye, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it technically is.
Well, yeah. we should have written them down when we were spectating race 2. I'm annoyed.
Yeah,
but that green bit of curb was definitely rubbered in.
Yes.
Right, Nick, finish race 1. We're almost at 45 minutes and we're still on this one.
Yeah, well, we'll rattle through race 2 or 3.
Well, Mr. Mikey Doble finished one place outside the points in 16th place.
But how many Jack Sears points did he get? This is the most important thing, Nick.
I don't know. I can't remember. He finished behind Watson, who was his main...
Who did really well this race, again, in the wet Donington. Yep.
Doble didn't get any points, but he won our heart. Some of the moves he was pulling.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it was actually good entertainment, wasn't it? Yep.
It was. Right, race 2, and Ingram doesn't want to speak before the race.
He does. No, he does want to.
He wants to.
He says,
if I speak, it's Jose Mourinho's line, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh, I can't remember. It's if I speak or something. I can't remember. Anyway, he doesn't want to comment on an incident because he knows he's been in trouble. Which I just say, go for it, Tom. Championship's over. Might as well get some penalty points and fines while you're there. So
if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Yes. So he's could have got a fire in his belly in this one because immediately into turn 1 he's into the lead from third. Hill tries to go to the outside, which compromises him. He gets past Hill easily, and then it's on lap? No, it's on lap 4 he gets Sutton. Apologies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So later he gets Sutton, but he gets it into the old hairpin, and you can tell going down the hill towards it, he is not backing out whatever Ash does. So he takes the lead quite brilliantly, and he manages to hold Sutton off into McLean's as well.
I thought the dive into Redgate was Plato-esque.
Yep.
Plato in his pomp-esque, let's say. And it was absolutely the right thing to do. Teller was fired up. Bam. I thought Sutton could have turned in if he wanted, but was not polite, but did think about the championship in that split second. Because I think it was a little bit too far back for an ordinary move. But well pulled off, and he made the apex still, so fair play. Takes 2 to tango. And then I was surprised Sutton tried to have a go at McLean's again because he didn't need to. Because that just meant Hill closed up on him, sorry.
Mm. I think it was one of those where he thought if I stick my nose in, he might run wide to defend. But yeah, Ingram was just like, no, I'm sticking to my line.
I'm turning in, yep.
And well done for saying Redgate, because I wrote Redgrave for some reason in my notes.
Sir Steve.
Yeah.
I saw him once in Edinburgh. He was sitting in the Slugging Lettuce at the Omni Centre at like 1 o'clock on a Friday. With a nice meal and a cocktail. Anyway, back to this. Collar drops a couple of places at the start to Ingram and Cook. Aaron Moffat gets a bit of helping hand, I say.
Yeah,
Patterson-
definitely.
Patterson
Pearson.
hit Pearson. No, Patterson.
No, it was Patterson.
Oh, sorry. Oh my god. Edit.
We was doing
All
this on the
Scottish
day.
people are
You're not going
different.
to edit.
No.
Yeah.
So Patterson hits him going into Old Hairpin.
Sorry.
Moffat
Don't
ends
know
up
what I was
into the
thinking.
gravel. He rejoins and it looks like the suspension's broken. But
Yep.
he's into the pits. But suddenly, 2 laps later, we see Moffat go past again. So they've semi-bodged that car together. And I say semi because he was not taking the corners properly.
No. Every time he went round the old hairpin afterwards, I was just watching him, and he was either in the gravel, going wide, or completely sideways.
Yeah.
Track limits.
Yeah, well, he got meatballed eventually. So
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
they realised he wasn't in full control of his car. He was winging it round every corner. So that's a bit of Scottish on Scottish contact there. We've got some fights for the Jack Sears, Doble and Watson. Are, exchanging positions before Watson gets ahead in the hairpin. I
There was
didn't
a bit
see
of a
how.
bump draft, wasn't there, from Patterson? I'll get it right this time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was entertaining.
pushing Doble forward.
Yeah. I didn't see what happened to Watson, why he was so far back from his start. I tried
No,
to-
Something
I
happened
didn't.
at the start, didn't it? But it was hard to pick up on,
yeah. We
Could have just
watched,
been tidy off the line for all we know.
yeah. So we watched this race from the infield on top of the hill,
Hmm.
overlooking the old hairpin.
Starkey's Bridge.
Yeah, what that would have been.
Yeah.
Which is a great view to see the cars going up the hill there.
Yeah, you get a good view of McLean's as well, don't you, from there? Like,
Mm.
from Redgate, you can see Old Hairpin from afar, and you can't really see McLean's. But here you can see Old Hairpin, Starkey's Bridge, Swanson, McLean's very closely and very clearly. It's good.
Mhm.
And, slight tangent, but we saw an epic F4 race from there as well. But moving on.
Yes, which I still haven't had a chance to actually watch.
No, I've not watched it back, but it was amazing entertainment.
It was.
Impressive.
There was front wings everywhere.
Yeah, there was.
What else? Oh yeah, I saw this and you guys didn't. There was a digger on. The
Oh,
track
yes.
Yeah.
in the middle of the race.
It's in the
turn one.
coverage.
It's in. I saw it on the screen. I was like, "Did you guys see that?"
We were like, nope.
No.
What are you on about?
It was so
Is it
random. It was so random that the TV director decided at that point we're going to cut to watch this digger nick out the pit lane
Yeah.
and skip across the gravel because it was parked on the exit at turn one. That was kind of
Wow, it was going quick across the gravel, though.
Yes.
It was.
You can see the touring cars in the background as well coming towards
Yes.
the S's. You're like, oh no, what have we done here? But all safe. I did see. I meant to watch it back on TV, but again, not had a chance. But there was a dodgy one at turn one in the minis. There was a car
Oh.
off there, 2 marshals, the digger on trying to lift it. I'm pretty sure it was just a single yellow flag because I didn't see the safety car lights or boards during that race. That was before you guys arrived. I thought, oh, here we go.
Second
But-
race of the day, then.
Yeah, but thankfully there was no more that we saw anyway. Daryl De Leon, the rookie, he's off, and George Gamble retires with a puncture as well at that point. What else happened? Oh, Edwards finishes the race. A la Lewis Hamilton, just
Yeah.
3 tires on her car.
That's very
Oh,
strange,
yeah.
wasn't it? Why
I thought
didn't
she
she
pulled
pit?
to the pits. Yeah.
It's
I
very
mean,
odd.
finishing position.
But she was already like at least a lap down, maybe 2.
Yeah, not sure about that one.
But yeah, that's pretty much all that happened in terms of overtakes in that race.
You had Hill pressurising Sutton the full race, but never
thought he would
got
have got
close
that.
enough to make a move.
Mm.
Yeah. Very surprising that he didn't.
He
As
did,
I said,
he did mention that he thought Ash was being very dirty with him moving across in front of him. Very similar
Just-
to what you was talking about before.
yeah.
Just moving over at the last possible second in front of his nose and forcing him to slow down.
Sutton's done that a few times this season and last season, I would say.
Yeah.
Silverstone springs to mind last year.
He's learned it from the master.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, but also if the rules play in their favour to that, I suppose you maximise those rules.
Well,
Yeah.
Tuckington does it to Sutton in the race 3, but we'll get to. So it seems to be okay. But as I said off air, if Ash Sutton was racing 10 years ago, he'd have been knocked out of so many races this year by Plato,
Yes.
Neil, Rob Collard. Pick your poison. They would not have been as generous as Ingram and Hill had been. Obviously, completely different rules where you were allowed to just batter people all over the place. But
Yeah, seemingly.
but Sutton's got away with a few this year, I think.
Someone would have entered Gareth Howell to deliberately do it. Oh, no, I didn't say that.
Yes. Stephen Jelly would have been parked up somewhere waiting on him coming round if this was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that about Sutton with a long brake pedal, so that may be why he didn't go after Ingram in this one.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not sure if these things are actually true or not, or if it's just a case of trying to make everyone think, they are actually not as slow as we thought they were. I don't know how much of it's mind games, but...
Probably all of it. We'll see.
And Nick?
Yes, Mr. Doble finished just behind his teammate, Andrew Watson, for 17th place this time. So still no
Jack
points
Sears
this weekend, but yes, close in the Jack Sears.
And number 12 is picked out of the ball hat bowl.
The ball hat.
The ball, yes, the ball. I didn't see actually who did it this time around.
Ingram.
Oh, yeah, of course. Right.
It was, and Dan Lloyd suddenly became the luckiest man in the world for all of an hour and 40 minutes. And until he became the unluckiest man yet again.
It was slightly suspicious that Ingram said, and this will be a Dan Lloyd pole just before he pulled it out, which makes it look like he did it on purpose, but...
That's funny. Did we need an independent adjudicator on the balls?
Well, he pulled another one out just to prove there was a different number on it.
Oh, okay, good.
Ballgate 2.
Yeah. Ball hat
And
gate.
so that... Yes. So we've got Dan Lloyd on pole, Tom Chilton, Taylor Smith, Morgan as their front four. Chilton immediately screws himself by being out of position at the start and having to reverse into his space, and I still don't think, looking back on TV, he was in the right position.
No,
So he
because
gets himself a 5-second penalty.
he got the penalty for not being in position rather than for reversing into position. Apparently, if he'd got in the right position, he would have been fine.
Yeah, I if you look at the start again, I think his bumper's still well over the line.
Yeah. But the thing is, you're on the front row. It's not like you can go to another row.
Yeah.
How did he miss it so bad?
Must have just had a mind blank. It's been a while since he's been anywhere near there.
True.
So as a full race, we've got a pack in the midfield of what would have been the front runners on pure pace. You got Ingram, Sutton, Hill, Tuckington, Cook, Rowbottom, all fighting all the way through. Dan Lloyd keeps the lead at the start, and it looks like he's finally going to get his win this year. I think his second ever win.
No, he won
Third.
3 races last year.
Oh,
Did
was
he
it?
win 3?
I thought he only won the one.
Oh,
He definitely won
Yeah.
one before last year.
I'm
Okay,
doing you a
well-
disservice here, Dan.
Oh, man. Well, hang on a minute. I thought he won twice at Croft and once at Brands GP last year.
Maybe. Oh, I just remember the one. But I know he won once in the Civic, wasn't it?
Civic?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Talk amongst yourselves.
Live Google updates.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but apparently there's a professional cyclist called Dan Lloyd.
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
And
I had to put BTCC.
Yeah. He's had
Right,
4
you're
wins.
right.
He's had 4
Yeah.
wins. I
He won at
apologise.
Croft in the Honda for BTC.
Yeah.
I always think it's Eurotech, but I think he might have got a front row starter pole in that. Then, last year, 2 wins at Croft, 1 at Brands Hatch Grand Prix. Final race of the year.
Don't realise he's been around for that long.
Yeah, he very
Right.
rarely gets a full season. That was always his problem.
He's had, 3 in a row now?
Mm.
Yeah, 2010 he made his debut.
I know, it's like Jake Hill. He made his debut in like 2008 or something like that. That's just putting it out of my head, but it's something like that long ago.
The thing with Dan Lloyd, though, after 2010, he did some TCRs around the world for a bit.
Very successfully as well.
Yes, race. Okay. Josh Cook was a bunch of positions and then eventually retires.
Yeah, I still don't know why. The bonnet was up, so we're assuming engine issues, but...
Bit of a shame.
Rowan Pearson also gets meatballed because half his bonnet is in the air, unfortunately.
It was a bit dodgy, that.
Yeah.
Ingram pulled a really cheeky move on Sutton at the old hairpin, which I thought was nice.
That was lovely.
I think he caught Ash napping there, and I don't think Sutton really liked that one. Turkington got past Cook as well. Ingram tried to follow through, and Cook ends up running a little bit wide at the old hairpin. There's a bit of contact, and Sutton goes past as well. Taylor Smith takes second off of Chilton on the road, even though he would get it anyway, because of the penalty. Gets at the Melbourne hairpin, and Rory Butcher gets past as well. Butcher fights with Taylor Smith for a little while, and manages to get it down into the hairpin which was a nice move.
He was. He was right on it in this last race, Butcher. He was putting off some good moves, but the car looked on a knife edge at times, but just on the right side of it.
Always does.
Oh yeah.
Well, on a knife edge, not necessarily the right side of it.
We then get a safety car for debris after Cook pits. Adam Morgan and then Jake Hill smashed the tyre barriers. Aaron Taylor-Smith as well. I didn't see him, but he just clipped it as well.
Clipped it slightly. Morgan clipped it a tiny bit more, and then he'll just smash the hell out of it.
So there's bodywork everywhere. There's a safety car for a few laps, and Dan Lloyd nailed the restart.
Yeah,
I thought that was. I was. Tom was cheering on Yorkshire in this one,
yeah.
and I thought he had it in the bag at this point.
Yeah, it was amazing how quickly that gap disappeared, because he had a lovely gap out to turn one, and then by the end of the lap, Butcher is back on his bumper.
There's a battle pack again in midfield. Tuckington gets ahead of Robot and Collard, and but then drops behind him again. Adam Morgan gets Chilton for fourth place, and we get is this the point where we get the random puncture for Robot?
Sort of, yeah. It wasn't that random though.
He smashed the tyre barrier on the left hand side, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Although looking back on it, I'm not convinced his car wasn't slightly hobbled in the first place. He ran wide coming out onto the back straight, and without contact, and you never really see that happen because it's not a particularly hard turn.
No,
so I wonder if he had a slight issue then.
Well, when I was watching the race back today, the few laps before this, I thought was the moment where he had his problem because he had a weird wiggle, I think, coming out of Redgrave. And I paused it, assuming that was the incident where he screws everyone else's race up. But it wasn't, so you're right, he might have had an issue beforehand that he was struggling with. And then that's why he steered straight into a tyre barrier.
Yeah, because no one hit that tyre barrier all day, apart from the Mini that went on its roof.
Exactly. Because
Stephen Redgrave's getting a lot of references this episode.
Yeah, I know. That's my fault.
What is it?
Well, it's actually Redgate, but in my notes I switched between Redgate and Redgrave because I kept getting mixed up.
Have you put Redgrave, Matt? I've been saying the wrong thing all episode because of you.
Oh, yeah.
For God's sake. Oh, dear. Anyway. Rowbottom was going well at this point as well. There's a great fight, and then, yeah, he smashes the barriers, has a puncture, and decides to continue on down the start finish straight, gets to turn one, can't take the corner, which holds up Ingram, and that lets Ash Sutton past, as well as Turkington. So his teammate gets a puncture, and it all falls into Sutton's hands yet again.
Yeah. As I say, I still can't decide whether or not Rowbottom deliberately decides to block Ingram rather than Sutton, or if it's just how it planned out.
I think it...
I don't think he deliberately did it, but it's just very convenient that it happened to be his teammate's title rival that he blocked. But I think that's just how it played out.
Ingram's on the outside of the turn one now. It's like he's going to try and go for the switchback, but all of a sudden there's a car half parked across the middle of the track and he's stuck. Which, everything just seems to fall in Sutton's hand these days. Dan Lloyd looks like he's secured the win until the final lap. He goes up to McLean's, suddenly squirrels on the exit and is off into the gravel, retired. At that point, we're speculating, is it a fault or is it just the worst mistake ever? Turns out, I think it was a drive shaft.
Yeah.
It went. So he lost pretty much a certain win there. He had Butcher covered for a good number of laps.
Well, Butcher was clearly the quicker car for the second half of that race after the restart, and he held him back gloriously. It's just so harsh. And the fact as well that he pointed out, he led 14 of the 15 laps of the 14-lap race. So if there was no safety car and they hadn't had the extra lap added on, the drive shaft wouldn't have broken on him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just such bad luck for him.
Yeah, a bit of a shame that.
Yorkshire was devastated at that point.
Yeah, the old Yorkshire versus Scott battle.
I told you, wrong side of the fourth.
Yeah.
I'm not claiming him.
I was really, really sad for him, man. The good thing is that his YouTube vlog has got over 50,000 views. But it's a shame it takes an incident like this to get that many views, if that makes sense. But
yeah.
Oh, he drove a really perfect race, I thought.
No, in a car that qualified 17th.
Didn't deserve it.
And
shows I can build the weekend. And,
there's not many people that I would actually feel that sorry for. There'll just be there'll be another chance, etc. But with Dan Lloyd, you never know. He's always on the brink financially. He's at a team that has a tendency to drop people at the slightest hint of no money coming through.
Because they had the massive crash last year, but the slight caveat to our sympathy was it was his fault. Whereas this one, there's nothing he could have done.
No.
So I hope he can get the finances back for next year, and I kind of hope he can get in a better car. Because that Cooper really hasn't lived up to what we had hoped. The Astra's got brilliant all of a sudden.
For a 10-year-old car, is it?
Oof.
I don't know if it's that old. I seem to remember it being in 2013, but I could be totally wrong on that.
It might not be that old, but and it's obviously upgrades. But yeah, they're doing. I got it really, really wrong, and I can just apologise to everybody at the start of the year in the previous show.
Yeah.
I thought the Coopers would be better than they are, and I thought the Astras would be worse than they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, bravo.
Rory Butcher. Sorry.
I was just going to say the Astras, just Aaron Taylor-Smith being so high up, and Andrew Watson constantly challenging for points, and our boy Doble constantly being around the level of getting points. That car is looking a lot quicker than it has any right to be.
Mm-hmm. I know they did a lot of tests in pre-season to try and get up to speed, but it's built through the year. And Taylor Smith, the past 3 rounds, has been top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I commented on his driving standards at the previous round, but I can't really say much about this round. He was just good. He was quick. A few wee bumps, but nothing major. So he finished second behind Rory Butcher. Ad Morgan finished the podium off. First podium. They said what year he last got a podium. I can't remember if it was 10 years ago or something mad. 8 years or something for Taylor Smith. Which, fair play to him for sticking in there.
Yeah, he's always been a bit of a crowd favourite because he does race hard. So it's good to see him get some kind of reward.
Sometimes a bit too hard in recent years, but...
yes.
Was well behaved this weekend.
2016 was his last podium. He won at
Was it a win?
Yeah. He won at Rockingham. Race 3. In the Volkswagen CC. So yeah, 7 years. Double.
16th, unfortunately, just one place outside the points yet again.
Yeah. Oh boy, so close.
Mm.
But fair play to Rory Butch as well. That tool has been terrible all year, and he did well to drag that one up.
Yep. Chapeau.
Penalties.
Yeah, a couple. Was it the one we know about? Tom Ingram got his position swapped with Jake Hill. We won't go into that again. Andrew Watson got a 3-place grid penalty after the first round, was it? Or the second round? The first round, sorry.
Oh, that
for
makes
an incident
sense.
with Ronan Pearson, but I didn't see that. And Dexter Patterson got a penalty in race 2 of 5 seconds for an incident involving Mikey Doble. But yeah, not sure what that was again.
Yes. And Bristol Street Motors lost 20 points.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say who. Well, which car. I'm assuming it was Chilton or Houstead because they previously had them.
Pardon me. It was, well, Chilton's got an asterisk on his points, so I assume it was him. So the title race, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
There's now a 42-point gap between Sutton and Ingram, 62 between Sutton and Hill, and 99 between Turkington and Sutton.
Yeah. Well, it's still a 4-horse race.
Yes. Turkington is... His consistency made up previously for the times where he's not had the speed.
Yeah.
This season he's not had the speed or really the consistency.
To be fair, the BMW doesn't seem to have had the speed in general. Hill has the last few rounds, but overall over the season, it hasn't quite been there.
No. And the Jack Sears, Andrew Watson leads Mikey Doble by 14 points. Sam Osborne, 335.
Yeah.
You're thinking that car he would be the one, but yep, he's in third in that championship. And the Wingfoot.
I put that in there mostly because if you look, that's kind of like an average qualifying for the season, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how low down Chilton is and Jelly.
Yeah.
And you just think it just shows how disappointing a season they've had as well.
Yeah, there's a few drivers been quite shown up this year, I think, unfortunately. So it's finished. It has. So it's finishing up. Overall thoughts on the weekend?
Well,
I loved it.
Rainy, windy, sunny, expensive.
Go watch it live. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Nick. Ruined you somewhere there. Expensive but great. Yeah. It's worth it.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
what price do you put on it? Yeah.
Especially if you haven't been before, it's because something you don't realise from watching on TV or even playing a game or a sim. You don't realise the scale of the track, the different elevation changes. You can see all the little bumps and things that you don't realise that the drivers have to deal with. And then as the cars fly past, you can actually see the speed and the skills that they've got to take those corners as quick as they do. If you've never been, it's well worth going for a weekend, or at least a day. Nick, your local race, whatever that is, you certainly won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I don't really have a local race, is my problem.
Yeah, Brands is...
That's like 90 miles away.
I'll move somewhere decent. Come on.
Yeah, that's probably a better option.
You've got 8 races or 9 races in England. So move closer. Will that do us for this week?
Yeah, I think that's all good.
Slightly elongated. We'll be back next week with a Super F1 episode, since it's a bit late this week to do one, covering Zandvoort, the most overtakes ever, and we've got the Italian Grand Prix this weekend. Double contracts for Mercedes today, as Lewis Hamilton and George Russell signed. So we'll cover all that next week on our F1 double podcast. So 2 rounds left in the touring cars. We've got Silverstone next before Brands Hatch Grand Prix to finish off the season. We'll be back soon with those, and we'll see you then.
Love it. Thank you.
See you later.